Alright, so Lego Project 2, aka the ball launcher, chuck something across the room and have fun while making it. We were Team Roboneer. I'm David, and
Anybody else?
Blake.
I'm Cassie.
And we're going to show you our multiple attempts and our final successes of this project, so let's roll.
Okay, so our overall goal was just to launch 3 balls in a row, also make it pretty sweet looking, and incorporate a mustache into our design, like always. And then our initial ideas were like a slingshot or a catapult, trebuchet or crossbow, or like baseball style, so throwing or hitting. But we ultimately decided with catapult.
Yeah, so our design is your traditional catapult. It also has a ball feeder behind it. So pretty much made it as simple as we could.
The one thing with this design we did with a catapult, you'll run into issues with trying to load it, because designing your initial ideas, you want to store the most energy, so you can have rotational, gravitational, or kinetic energy, and spring energy, so they actually fork what the two are kind of like. And so with our current catapult, we have rotational and spring energy stored, and so you have to transfer all from your motors to that. So we did kind of a gearing system that cams over, like the earlier teams, small gear to big gear. It cams over, engages, then drives, then winds. So once we had that, our general frame, we had to rebuild the frame a bunch of times just because get our forces aligned. Because if you have like a 2-force member and forces point down here, things are going to want to shatter and spray pieces everywhere, which is a bad idea. But we got our force set, and there's basically one loop here. It's going to count and run 3 times. There's a counter here. This is your main big loop. It's going to run 3 times. First thing you do, we like sound effects, so we got sound effects, and then it's going to run our camming motor. It's going to cam the small gear over onto the big gear, which engages the gears. And then we run into our main loop, and then it waits, plays another pretty sound, and then we start winding. Our motor, to wind up the string, is going to wind infinitively until we hit our stop action, because we tried to play with a couple sensors, but any sensors that stop it weren't as reliable as we wanted to. So we just did stop action. Then driving motor stops, then we hit C, and then C, this is our loader. This is the ball that's going to rotate. We set 120 degrees, so our arm starts here, rotates down, lets the ball through, close to the gate. And their weight thing, and then C rotates, and then we wait, and then this is our firing thing. So when you press this, our camming motor is going to pick the gear off, and then we're going to have a free system with no drive engaged, and that's going to launch. And then the waits again, and the whole thing repeats, recams down, and loops for a total of 3 times.
So there was a whole list of problems. The most problems we had is there's so much torque on the machine. The string, it always slipped, so you couldn't have it like just like like you couldn't have a sense when it could go down. So you have to have the stopper. There's so much torque, so like it's pretty much like everything would snap apart if we didn't have everything reinforced. The ball shooter, we had to have the water ball in the back, so the balls just don't fly everywhere, because that thing pops up so fast and the whole machine moves forward. And the claw, it catches sometimes on the loader. That's pretty much it.
And some of the solutions. At first, we couldn't get enough power to actually drive this thing down all the way. So we geared it, and that wasn't enough to actually fix anything either. So then we added the string to wind around. For the string snapping, we just added 4 strings. 2 strings wasn't enough. Fishing line wouldn't wrap around well enough. One thing I'm proud of is we have a motor drive the gear into the locking place and then unlock it, because before we tried to use just like a simple gearbox that would lock and unlock on its own, but it just never unlocked. It got stuck, and you kind of have to release the motor in order to get a nice spin going. And the counterweight, that was a really easy fix because we were allowed to use a counterweight. And then just to fix the snapping, we just added a buttload of supports, and that seemed to do the trick.
And it worked successfully, and we're quite proud of it, and there's no issues.
So any questions?
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Did you release the gears by starting up the motor?
Yeah, so
we got a motor right here, and this one drives this motor down. this motor's loose, and this is the one that cranks it and tightens everything, and then this one just will pull it back when it's time to fire. So it disengage, right now it's like, you know, there's nothing on it. This will push it down into there, lock it into place, and then this will spin to crank it, and then this will pull it back to release it.
Also, set motors not to.
The drive gear is on a rotating arm that rotates into the winding gear. So it rotates off, it's free, it rotates in, then it can drive.
Yeah, there's only actually one motor cranking it. The other motor just locks the other one into place.
Any others? Yep. Thank you. No, not yet.
We gotta boot up our computer.
Okay.
Make sure it's
Alright, you set?
straight.
Okay.
Alright, game on.
Wow.
Ooh.
You gotta try this one.
Ooh. Okay. Nice. Thank you.